Welcome to the Social University Podcast. We are so glad you're joining us today because we want to help business owners, entrepreneurs, and people just like you who want to build their business online. Listen, if we can do it, you can do it. So let's go.
Good morning. I'm Karen Taradas with Social U, and it is time for What's Up Wednesday. We come to you live every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. to talk about social media tips, tricks, and trends. Today, we are going to talk about podcasts. Why do you need a podcast? Do you need a podcast, and how to get started? So let's go ahead and jump in. First and foremost, podcasts are one of the easiest, most cost-effective ways to market yourself and your offers to an audience who is exactly who you're looking for. It's a great way to connect with potential customers that are interested in what you have to say, and really helps you be yield. Most people listen to podcasts regularly. Whether it's professional, whether it's personal, people are listening to podcasts. They listen to them when they drive. They're listening to them around the house. So if this is something you're considering for your business, let's really get into the meat of it. Let's talk about the why. To me, the three most important things is to realize why other people listen first. First and foremost, there's accessibility everywhere. You can listen to podcasts on multiple different streaming platforms. So they're very easy to take with you wherever you are. There's a variety of content, whether it's personal, professional, whether it's about murder, so many murder podcasts. It's fascinating to me. Or self-improvement or coaching. Again, there's literally no topic you can name that doesn't have some sort of amazing podcast to go with it. And it's super convenient. You can do it. A lot of times I'll have a podcast going while I'm doing other things. I especially like to listen to podcasts when I'm driving. I love them. That's why most people, I think, choose podcasting over, let's say, a video, because videos are great, but you can't watch them and drive. So, and it's super convenient. You don't have to go dig for it. It's right there on whichever platform you already stream on. There it is. I think that's why most people listen to podcasts. Now, why should you be podcasting as a business professional? Truly, there's like 5 reasons. First and foremost, it helps position yourself as the known expert in your niche, whatever cranks your tractor. Niche. I'm Southern. Let's go with niche. Yeah, I gotta stop laughing at my own stuff. Okay. It also allows you to build your community. I would rather have 100 super engaged followers than have 1,000 people who don't recognize your name or don't know who you are or what you do. That community is what drives sales. It's what builds loyalty. It's how you get killer referrals, your community. So you want people who come back to you week after week and listen to your stuff. It helps you grow your list. What a great way at the end of the podcast to say, hey, we have this cool free download. If you're interested, click on the link that's provided for you in the podcast notes and sign up. We have a killer our content calendar. We normally charge for that. Right now it's free on our homepage. If you're interested in that, go sign up and join our email list. We send an email once a week. It will have a podcast highlight. It has a video highlight, a tip of the week, and a blog. So it gives you a ton of information you can select from to learn more about social media to grow your business. Number 4, it drives organic traffic with a specific offer to your target audience. Okay, what do I mean by that? Thanks. Yeah, whatever cranks your tractor. I'm Southern. I can say that. I'm full of fun Southern sayings. Like, I'll come up with another one in a minute. You can get really specific. So if you are a real estate agent and you have a podcast, you can talk specifically to homeowners, or you can talk about vacation rentals, or you can talk about second-time home buyers, retirement communities, communities for investors. You can pick your specific target and talk about that. So you are literally preaching to the choir. Great way to drive that organic traffic. And of course, it's a low cost. If you're doing it yourself, it's not a tremendous cost to get started and produce it yourself. So that leads us right into the very next thing. What do you do? How do you get started? Okay. First and foremost, you want to define hold on. First and foremost, you want to define your target. Who is it you're trying to reach? For us, when we are doing a podcast, I am reaching out to solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, business owners who want to do it themselves or do it in-house. That's who our audience is. That's who we talk to Wednesday mornings. That's who we talk to on our podcast. Define your audience. Second, you have to have equipment. You don't have to have fancy equipment. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars. You can get started with a laptop, a pretty okay microphone for $30 to $50-ish. Again, it doesn't have to be. Now, are there $2,000 microphones? Sure. Do you have to have that to get started? Absolutely not. We will include a link to our blog in the notes for this video, and it will send you back to the blog, and it'll have references for 2 separate microphones in it. One is the Snowball and one is not. And I've heard them both used. The sound is amazing. It eliminates a lot of background noise. We can also include a link for a lavalier if that's something that you prefer, where you don't want to see the microphone. You just want the actual sound to be excellent. That's all you need. I would tell you to add to your list, if you're going to video as well as audio, you need a laptop stand so that your computer is elevated. So you're not looking down at the computer, you're actually looking your audience in the eye. So now we've got basically 3 pieces of equipment: a laptop stand, and a microphone. The next thing you're going to want is a method or a platform to record on. There are a couple of different ways you can do it. We use StreamYard. It is extremely cost effective. It's something like $12 or $19 a month, not expensive. It allows you to download video and audio, or video or audio, so you can pick and choose how you want to download. And because of the branding capabilities, which I can show you here in this video, if you are at home or if you're on site, you can add your logo. There it is, to the corner. You can add your name at the bottom if you want to. You can brand. There's all kinds of branding. As I showed you just a second ago, you can display comments also. You can also do an intro. You can change your background. There's all kinds of things that are built into StreamYard to make it easy for you, to make it very accessible. And again, you can display your comments like this so that you can talk directly to your audience as you are conducting your podcast or video cast, however you want to do it. So I love StreamYard. It's one of my favorites. Something else that you can use if you don't want the video aspect, you only want the audio, is Audacity. It's mostly free. The version we use a lot of times is free. There's no reason not to use it. Again, all you need is your computer, a microphone, and the program. That's it. So you do have to pick a platform to record and edit. Again, we use StreamYard, and then we edit in iMovie. But if you're going to record in Audacity, you would also edit in Audacity. So simple. Most people, especially if you have a Mac, iMovie's built in. There's no additional expense. It's just the time it takes for you to actually do the editing. Now, for us to post editing, I'm all about transparency. I don't like to edit out mistakes because I feel like it makes me a real person. You can polish. I think normal business owners would probably edit out the hyena laugh that I had at the beginning. I'm not most business owners, so it stays. But of course, you can edit all that out in iMovie. It's not difficult at all. You added introduction and maybe an exit, intro, outro, so that people know who you are, what you're going to talk about in the first few seconds. And then you close with your call to action. And of course, thank them for being there. And again, the intro, outro, you're talking about seconds, not minutes, brief, who you are, why you're there, and then what you want them to do when you get done. Okay. The third thing, maybe the fourth thing. Yeah. Define your target equipment. Yeah. Third thing, pick a hosting platform. I highly recommend Buzzsprout. They have a free version where you can get a couple of hours, and it goes up to $24 a month. But Buzzsprout is a cloud-based cloud-based podcast hosting solution that helps businesses create and publish podcasts across various streaming platforms. Professionals can go ahead and upload podcasts, and it will separate it and publish it to all the platforms. If you're using Buzzsprout, when you go to schedule your podcast to publish, it distributes it to Apple, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Alexa, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Castro, Castbox, and Podchaser, everything. So you don't have to manually, because in the good old days, seriously, I don't know how people used to podcast. There was so much behind the scenes work because there was no iMovie, there was no Audacity. You literally had to use a soundboard to edit. And then to publish, you had to manually publish on every single platform. That's nuts. Buzzsprout does that for free. There's also an auto-tune tool. I think it's an extra $10 or $12 a month, where you add it to your audio and it smooths out the sound and eliminates a lot of the background noise, which is killer. But Buzzsprout's awesome. It's just a really good platform to schedule episodes, and it allows you to do that. I can, if I wanted to, especially if I'm just getting started, I can go ahead and preload, and I would highly recommend this when you're starting. Start with 2 to 4 episodes immediately. And then from that point forward, you can schedule your episodes. Once a week is a great number of times to do a podcast, but much like YouTube video, podcasters follow their own rules. There are people like professional marketing people who podcast every single day. They may only do it for 5 minutes, but they're doing it every day. That seems like overwhelming to me. That seems like a lot of content creation to me. So we do ours once a week. We like to post on the same day. Again, they like that continuity, just like YouTube. They want you to post at the same time, the same day. And it's easier to tell your audience, hey, we're ready. We're published Thursdays at 10 a.m. So check for us Thursdays at 10 a.m. It also gives you an opportunity. And I've heard this from other podcasters. You send out reminders. If you're going to send a weekly email, if you include in that email, hey, did you catch our podcast? It downloaded today, and this is the topic. You're more likely to get downloads and listens when you remind people, hey, it's there. I know that on Wednesdays we podcast. That's one of my favorite podcasts of all time. It's fun. It's all about entertaining, but stuff that doesn't matter. So books, movies, TV, I love it. I've been listening to it for years, and I know it's live on Wednesday mornings. They are so consistent in their posting. They literally have merchandise that says on Wednesdays we podcast. Clever, smart. That's the way to do it. So that's the equipment that you need. Again, not super expensive. Most people already have the laptop. Really, all you need is to pick how you want to record, your recording platform, and a microphone. And then once it's done, you have to publish. And Buzzsprout is a cloud-based program. You don't have to download it on your computer. It's not going to eat up all your memory. You don't have to pay extra for Google storage. You just log into your account, load the information, schedule the day that you want it done. So if you wanted to do batch content where you record all of your podcasts in a single day and then schedule them out over the month, you can totally do that. Really and truly, Buzzsprout is, I don't know how people did it before Buzzsprout was the thing. Seriously, that's the best way to do it. Okay, so now that you have your equipment taken care of, and now that you have your platform for hosting selected, what's the next thing? You really need to plan your content. Yes, you can just kind of do willy-nilly, but content burnout is a real thing. So we try to do ours quarterly, and then we announce it a month at a time. I don't want to get so far ahead that if there's something urgent that happens, we can't pivot and do that information. And because we're in social media, that happens periodically. Instagram losing their minds when we have to stop and talk about that algorithm, or, hey, they're pivoting. Instagram's changing the rules. They're deprioritizing reels. That's breaking news in our world. That's something that business owners need to know. If reels are painful for you, great news. They're saying that they're not going to focus on those as much. That's a great podcast topic. That's something you need to be able to pivot and do. But plan your content, get an idea for what you want to do. The next thing you want to do is record and edit. If you're going to do it, do the video part. Why wouldn't you create 2 pieces of content when you have the chance to do that? Go ahead and do it through StreamYard so that you can get the video and the audio. Now you have YouTube, and you have a podcast. Why wouldn't you do it that way? It just makes sense, especially if you're doing something live and you can display comments. That just makes sense to me. Of course, you're going to want to create a great title that explains who you are and what you do. You have to have cover art that shows up on Apple or Spotify when people are looking. And I would say use a colored background so you don't get lost in all the traffic, because there's so many different podcasts, millions of podcasts actually. So you don't want to get lost in the sea of people. Do something that makes you stand out. And you have to have a description. What are you talking about? What do you bring to the table? And then, of course, your last step is to actually publish. We recently started a podcast, so I'm new to the game, which is why this is so fresh on my mind. And I'm surprised at how many downloads we've had in the first few weeks. I'm shocked, actually, at how many downloads we've had in the first few weeks. So it totally works. I highly recommend it. If you haven't gotten started and you're looking for something else to add to your marketing rotation, podcast is great. It also helps with your content. It helps give you content for your newsletters. It gives you content for your social media. And it really does establish you as an expert in your field, a lot like blogging, which you guys have heard me talk about many, many times. That is it for me today. If you have any additional questions or you want help, please feel free to DM. You can leave a comment here. We do check our comments very consistently. Next week, we will be back to talk about targeting your ideal client. I am still shocked at how many clients we talk to and you ask them, okay, great, for us to get started, who's your ideal client? And they say everybody. It is not everybody. It's probably far less than everybody. And once you understand who you're talking to, it makes it easier to do it. It'd be like, to me, and I equate this to getting in a car when you're hungry and just driving around and hoping that food happens. It's so much easier if you know where you're going and you drive to the restaurant than just wandering around and kind of hoping that you get there. Same thing. So next week, we're going to talk about your target audience. And then I believe the week after that, we are talking about the truth about hashtags. Again, Instagram has really changed the rules on how you use hashtags on Instagram. I want to talk about using hashtags on each platform, which ones it's critical on, which ones it irritates your audience. So yeah, we're going to do that the week after next. Let me know if there's a topic you're interested in. I'm happy to share information. You guys just have to tell me what you want to hear. Until next week, I am Karen Taradas with Social U, and I'm here to help. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us for the Social University podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media at Stay Social U. That's the letter U. And we will talk to you next week. Remember, you've got this.